Welcome to Jasiri, where no conversation is too bold and no issue is off limits. It's all about hot topics today, and we're wrapping up the week with the biggest stories and the conversations you can't ignore. From breaking news to cultural moments, social trends to political controversies, nothing is off this table. And today, we're bringing even more energy and more perspectives. And I want to say, let's dive in. But one of us here on the table doesn't have the energy to dive anywhere but her bed right now. And I know she's excited to see the weekend because we are all looking forward to the next 2 days to catch our breath and rest and reset for the second quarter of the year. However, I'm not sure that Lolo has caught her breath from spending hours in Lagos traffic on Wednesday. So Lolo, my dear, darling friend.
Oh my God. Would I say I'm still lethargic? I'm still very tired. Having to stay.
Actually,
You know, sometimes this is the show now. It's Friday. How do I miss Friday? You know, when we came to show to work yesterday, of course, we did know that they're repairing the Independence Bridge. Even though I never knew until asked on this table where the Independence Bridge was. I didn't even know what was in stock for us on our way home. You know, we left the office like, let's say, 11:34-ish. If I tell you that between Ogba here and Victoria Island, we got to VI at +6.
Which is usually 45 minutes, right?
45 minutes, 30 minutes. The whole road was jammed. It's a different thing when you say it's moving. This one is a gridlock. We were on that Osborne Road for like 2.5 hours of that time before we were able to now climb Falomo Bridge. Another 1 hour, then we now got to Post Square as in off Adiola Odeku. We got there +6. And you know that now that we face our coming in from, and the hour started from 3rd Mainland Bridge. Because as the traffic was building, of course, it would be going further and further. I'm sure by the time we even left, others that came after us would have made the queue longer and probably extended to the mainland, maybe after 3rd Mainland Bridge a little. When we got to VI, another catastrophe because everybody that was going out, so we're already caught in the traffic from those closing from work. So everybody closing from work, from inside Victoria Island, all road led to Falomo. That means everywhere in Victoria Island was locked. Especially any road that was leading to Falomo. So Adiola Odeku was locked. The streets in front adjacent Adiola Odeku was locked. Bar Beach from the side of coming from a hotel locked.
so all you saw were cars back to
Everybody just parked. People were sleeping in their cars. After some time,
engines were off.
when your car is not moving for 30 minutes, what do you need your engine on for? So people were just in their cars. It was a total nightmare.
I mean,
By the time we had to go and sit somewhere, we spent like 2 hours there thinking that when we got out, things would be better. We got out of the place like, let's say, +8. Just for us to even move one of our colleagues' car out of Post Square to take the back of that street.
Yes.
Going this way, locked. We had to turn and take that near that, come out through that, you know, that police headquarters. At the
Bar
back.
Beach.
Bar Beach.
Yeah.
So, and you know that place will be free because nobody was coming from
That's on Amadou Bello.
on Amadou Bello way. So we took that way into a hotel. You know that new road and that new express that they're making?
Yes.
The one that goes through Bar Beach.
That's part of the coastal road, I think.
Yeah, coastal road.
Yes.
Do you know that we saw cars there bargaining with those that are at the
boys,
edge
and
so
they-
that they can pay them and allow them to pass?
So that they'll be coming out further.
Imagine if we were able to pass there, would have come out like Jack on it. But of course, you know Nigerians. I know it's not legitimate what they were doing. So they were actually
They
haggling
took advantage of
for
the
price.
situation. Yeah.
You can imagine they stood in front of the car, barricaded, and were negotiating with the cars. We just drove past them, took a hotel. From a hotel, we got out of through Mobile side. Then it was okay. But now the traffic going out had already become chaotic. So they are spilled into the road the road going to
See
Lekki.
now.
Look at this.
They are, you can see that it's on both sides.
Yeah.
Because they are taking 3 lanes off us that are going into Lekki. So we had only 1 lane. And we were lucky because It started about when we got there. So that means people that came after us would have been in another lockdown because of the people taking one way.
Yeah.
They are taking half of the road. We had only one road
for you going
for
out.
us going. And that was because it was just at the nick of time. And thereafter, it was smooth sailing because everybody was
stuck in traffic.
Come and see people trekking.
That's
one
what I
woman
really
had
wanted
her
to
children.
talk
You
about.
could see them still in uniform. At that time,
I hear that the pregnant woman even stepped down from the car
Well,
just to
imagine you
walk
were
and
in
her
labor.
feet were already swollen.
Swollen.
And she kept
imagine
rubbing her
someone
tummy.
in labor
We talked
or you
about
had a medical
emergency situations.
It would have been
Yes.
horrific. Nigerians are so. My son too did his own waka. He's interning in the office. So he said he walked from Obalende to Agungi through the back roads, because everybody was trekking.
Yeah.
Which Agungi? Agileki?
Agungi Lekki.
Yeah.
Because there was no cars coming, no cars going. All the bus. Do you know that from Aja just to like Abraham Adesanya Junction, the guy charged 500 naira. If we didn't scream our lungs out, he wouldn't have given us 200 naira change. And that's because
they're
even if
taking
you call the
advantage,
taxi,
yes.
imagine people that called hailing cabs in that taxi.
I said it.
Just know that it's either you and the cab driver, you will tear each other's clothes.
That's it.
Because I do not know
How much you want to pay.
How
want
much
to
you would
pay.
have paid? It's
It was
a
not
horrible
it was
situation.
and another thing I'm wondering that Lagos is so populated.
Yeah.
It's heavily populated, not just with people, cars, and everything. So look at this road that is not even a big road like Third Mainland. It's just a little overhead.
It's no more than three.
But
no
now
more than
the
3 lanes.
importance of that bridge is so obvious.
Yes.
Because ingress from Lagos Island, you pass through there.
Yeah.
To go to Oniko, you pass through there.
Yeah.
If you are going to Silverbed, you pass through there to reach Eko Atlantic and also Zumba.
And
Yes.
further on to Lekki.
And further on to Lekki.
Two
That
bridges
means
into
it's
VI,
like
Panama
a
and
center.
Independence.
Yeah.
An epicenter that
Yeah.
we never realized was that important.
We are too busy in Lagos to take cognizance of the importance of this bridge.
Yes.
Even if we decide to shift focus to the Falamo Bridge to via Ake Adeshola, you'll be shocked at how important that link is.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Lagos we are so populated. And so that bridge, I would think, okay, it's just a small bridge now. Allah, 1 minute, you will pass the bridge, you will cross the bridge if you're
Imagine
driving.
people
in 1
that
minute,
had
1.5
high blood
minutes.
pressure,
We
people that
spoke
were
about all of
diabetic,
it.
that their drugs
Were
could not
maybe
get
at
to
home
them.
because
Look
they
at
only
one
were supposed
woman,
to take at
her
4.
children were inside that traffic. All the boys selling all these things on the road, they were making a kill.
Yeah.
Because everybody, they'll just tell you 500. It's either you buy it or buy it.
Exactly. I saw Blessing Additional's post where she was, and it actually made sense because she was now asking all those ferries that they talk about, all those streets, where are they at this time? Like all the alternatives that we've been building and constructing and commissioning, where are they? Because I feel like it would have at least come in handy.
They are where they
No,
are.
this visual.
No, when I saw
Everywhere red. That's the definition.
Everywhere red.
It's so beautiful though. It looks so nice. But imagine
Not
us,
the traffic.
And
She's
look
just
at it
about
artistically.
quality of the visual. Thank you,
Look
Central.
at this. The down was locked. Up was locked. Do you know how many? Ofada Boy's birthday was yesterday at Muzon Center. I
He
know
didn't
it's,
cancel it. Oh, he can't cancel.
he
Sorry.
can't cancel, but
couldn't
I did see people, but I know that half of his hall was not full because all of us would have gone there. I was going to shoot podcasts. I could not go. Our guests got there like 4.
Nobody could do anything.
Nobody could do anything. So I just wanted to get home. You know,
But
when I got home like this, it was like, thank God. I just drank pap.
And
And
just
she
I
sends me
went
a
to
voice
bed.
note.
I just sent Tolu a voice note that I don't know the million what can rouse me. When I woke up the next morning, I saw MD's text that we have to talk about this gridlock. I said, good for them. talking about it. Right now, I will talk about this gridlock on my bed. But we need to really know when we want to do something in Lagos State.
So let's move on because we have a whole bunch of.
In fact, I was going
that.
to ask her this morning for
exhausting.
quickly, so how was the traffic today coming out?
You know, it's in the morning. So morning traffic is
not really
nothing. And we leave pretty early.
Okay.
So we leave the island, we leave like 6.
And
So
now it's
there's no
going
way
back
we would
that
have
you-
gotten to the office no
Yeah,
matter what.
yeah.
But we did get to office. Remember when we faced the $10 challenge
Oh
too?
Lord, yeah,
Oh
that
God.
too.
It
All
was
right.
another hell.
So we know a lot has happened in the 24 hours afterwards. Some say should be a record-breaking gridlock in Lagos, and I agree. So while we were on air yesterday, the governor of Lagos, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, visited the scene of the Independence Bridge repair works and apologized to Lagosians for that horrific, horrendous, disastrous traffic
I didn't write all that too.
that thousands of people experienced on Wednesday. So here's what he said.
In Victoria Island in the next 2 to 3 weeks, conduct your business via social media, via telephone, via meetings, Zoom meetings, and online meetings, and plan ahead, so that if you don't need to come and visit somebody here, please, you don't have to come, right? If you don't have a meeting that you must, ensure that it needs your physical presence, think out of the box. It was something similar that we've had during COVID, where you can have restricted movement in some part of the area for just, a couple of weeks, and be able to plan your journey time and be able to, see what are the alternatives, you can bring about, ensure that you can communicate, you can do, work from home, work remotely, just to ease, the traffic, and just to ease all of us coming out. If you don't need to come out at 7 o'clock, wait till 10 o'clock. Let the people that need to come out at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, let them come out. You defer your time 2-3 hours, so they can see that even the approach from Marina to Victoria Island is free.
All right, now let's take it back to just before the governor visited the bridge yesterday. Many people woke up to news that the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, had ordered the immediate reopening of the bridge. And we're all asking, reopening of what? How? Because News Central was there when the crew broke into the concrete to begin the repairs, and it was so fast, by the way. Well, it seems some wires may have gotten crossed when it comes to communication between the state and the federal government. A few hours after the governor's inspection, the Minister of Works was on the scene and countered what the governor had said about it taking a few weeks to get the road fixed. Now, Umahi said he was there on the orders of the president and said he was also not kept in the loop with the bridge's closure. So let's take a look.
If we're to do this properly, there will be a different kind of method statement would have deployed and wouldn't have necessitated to total closure. And even if we're going to close, we would have done it in such a way that we take 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we would have put in place the remedial work that will be necessary. So what we are doing now is to restore the bridge temporarily within the next 3 days. By Sunday, this place will be totally open. We designed the rehabilitation, but unfortunately, when the bridge was to be closed, I was not informed. The controller did that on her own, and it's very unfortunate because for a bridge to be closed, especially in Lagos, as you know, it's been the tradition, I should be informed as the minister, and we should also have studied the implication of it, even though it's an emergency situation. We would have deployed emergency evaluation of the implication of closing the bridge. Was there any other thing we would have done? And then while we take time to do the proper work. And so I use the opportunity to warn all controllers and engineers all over the country. Never you close the road or close any bridge without running through the PAM secretary, who we seek for the permission from the Honorable Minister of Works. And so there will be consequences, disciplinary action for this.
So there is a lot more on this story, and News Central's correspondent is standing by at the scene because the bridge has been patched. But we'll get into that after the break. Stay with us. Now, as Blessing said, it seems that there may have been cross-communication wires between the state and federal governments, because the governor told us early yesterday that the bridge would be reopened in a few weeks. And then the minister comes a few hours later in the afternoon and says, no, It's going to be reopened this weekend. And so it seems the minister has had his way. News Central's correspondent Israel Eferibor, who was at Independence Bridge this morning, actually told the breakfast team that the patchwork is going on, and he joins us now to give us the latest updates. Israel, what is the bridge looking like?
Good morning, TAB, and indeed the ladies of Jasiri. It's to a question, how is the bridge looking like? Well, the bridge is looking pretty good. That's the word. It's really looking really good. So, yesterday when the minister was here, and indeed the governor of Lagos State, after all the back and forth, miscommunication here and there, whatever the case was, that we'll never understand. But what we do know now is that the order that was given by the Minister of Works, David Umahi, for temporary repairs, that order has been literally taken to the very, very end. The men of the of Works, they worked all night. And what you can see behind me is exactly what has happened all through the night. There has been a temporary fix here right now, as you can see right behind me. It's exactly what's been happening all through the night. Some of the engineers told me that they just could not go home after the order by the Minister of Works, and they worked all through the night. They had to go through all the processes, and what you can see right now is what used to be the gorge that was here 2 days ago when we came here. This was the cause of the really horrendous traffic that Lagosians experienced 2 days ago. But apparently it seems like this will end in a matter of hours. You can see the engineers told us earlier on that they had to go through some processes that included the filling of the sharp sand, stone base as well. Those are engineering terms that you may not be familiar with. There was also compacting that they also did, and there was what they call the cement stabilization. All those processes have happened in the last few hours, from the night time into the morning time. And what you can see right now, the black liquid you see on the surface there, is the MC1 that they have actually used, to put all of this together. It's called priming. It's called priming. These are engineering terms, so don't bother your head about that. But the good news is the work is happening, the repairs is ongoing. This temporary fix that they are talking about is what we can see right now, 2 days after we had a gorge here. So do not be surprised. This is exactly the same bridge that caused the traffic 2 days ago. This is where you had that gorge. This was where it was dug up for repair was to commence. What you're seeing right now, a live picture of what is happening right now at the Independence Bridge here in Lagos. I know it's surprising, TAB.
We'll leave the surprises. But Israel, I'm very curious, because what the minister had said yesterday was that the bridge would reopen on Sunday. But the work that's looking done, in layman's terms, it looks like they'll have a motorable portion, they'll have it motorable by later today, but it doesn't mean it will be cleared for vehicles to pass. So are we still hearing that it's not going to be open until Sunday, or is there a likelihood that it may open either later today or sometime tomorrow?
Okay, so I hear you clearly, TAB. So what we can actually say now is the fact that after that order by the minister yesterday, he knew that something had to be done. He knew that there had to be some sort of accelerated action, which is what we have seen here. He gave 3 days for the bridge to for this work to go on, and that simply means that it is meant to be opened on Sunday. But from what we can see right now, from what unconfirmed reports from the engineers say, that they are working at a really fast pace, and it seems like this bridge, just emphasis on the just, may be opened later today. We also do know that the minister is scheduled for a visit much later today here at the Independence Bridge to also see for himself the process of the work that is ongoing at the moment. I don't know if that clarifies anything for you, TAB.
Yes, it does. Ladies?
It does. I just want to know, these repair work that is being carried out It is temporary, I want to believe. That means there's a likelihood of the further works to be carried out on that same portion of road later on. Is that it? Or this repair they're doing would be as good as we're going to get?
You might want to come back with that question. I didn't get you.
Yes, I said this fix, this temporary fix that we see them doing on the road to facilitate movement back or the use of the road, is this a permanent fix, or it's still temporary that we're going to still expect that this independent bridge will still receive some repairs hereafter?
Okay, so what you can see, I'm just going to come back into your frame now so you can see exactly what's going on here. So what we have here right now is indeed a temporary fix and not a permanent fix. The minister said yesterday that there will be about 2 weeks for consultations and proper planning for the permanent solution that they will try to get. So in the next 2 weeks thereabouts, I'm quite sure all the authorities will sit down at the table or wherever it is they deem fit to come to a permanent solution of how this repair work should actually be undertaken. What you're seeing right now is only temporary. It looks good, right? I'm quite sure. So it's confusing some people, but this is indeed just a temporary fix. It's just temporary. So for the next 2 weeks, the bridge will be open to commuters once again to ease the burden of movement for Lagosians, but it's indeed just temporary. The permanent solution will be communicated much later from the Minister of Works, and that will be in about 2 weeks. I did say that the Minister is also scheduled for a visit later today, and we'll see what he will be saying to the press when he comes by. TAB?
All right, Israel, we'll let you go for now. I know you've just made some people's days and their weekend as well with this news that you shared with us. But we look forward to seeing you when the minister is there for his supervision. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
So, Lou, a lot of people that have weddings this weekend will be saying, thank God.
What is wrong with this one?
What was here, Blessings? Blessings called it yesterday. Blessings just asked a question. She had never, so it's within the purview. It's possible to do for you to excavate. As Blessing said, to dig it down to the ground with such alacrity within the time that the bridge was closed until that yesterday.
Why you respected it so that the Minister of Works ordered can never be. What the Minister of Works cannot do does not exist.
So I listened to his statement. I have a few points to take on the minister's statement. He said that he was there on the orders of the president, who, by the way, is away in Paris, France for a working visit. I think it's about 2 weeks. I just wanted to let you know where he is on a working visit. So it was a phone call. He said, Mahi, go to Lagos. I left Lagos in your hands. Anyway, the minister said that the president said he should come. He apologized. But then he said, he was not informed.
A bit confusing.
Wait, he was not informed that the bridge was being closed. So apparently there were conversations. Don't forget what the governor said yesterday, that they've been doing it seems they've been doing patch work and there's a contract on this bridge for the past 3 years. So we also have to talk about the fact that why are we waiting 3 years? We have progressively watched the bridge deteriorate in that area for 3 years to this point. That's a conversation. That's one. 2, you've come, you've apologized, you said you did not know. You were not told that the bridge was going to be closed. Then 4, he also talked about, he laid basically the law down for controllers and said that going forward, anything about such things like this must go to him, must go through his ministry. And he said there's going to be consequences. So we've heard the name of, I think the controller of works here in Lagos. Unfortunately, we have yet to see her. In this whole situation.
It's a her.
It's a her. I think Korede Keshi. I think that her, and I believe that's the name. I'll get to the name.
She's a Coco.
Leave that one. She cannot be my Coco. Is it the Coco or the Coco? All of this, I'm just like, so where was the committee? And then 6. Wow, you see, I see 6 points. The governor came and said, "There's nothing I can do. You people should do remote work. If you don't have business here, stay." A lot of Goshen's were not happy with his messaging. Then 7, the minister now comes and said, "No, but I said this bridge must temporarily reopen by Sunday." So there was a lack or miscommunication in the closure of the bridge, in the modalities around the closure of the bridge, and then there's a miscommunication or lack of communication in what happens now.
So you see that everything is clear as crystal. Why that Wednesday traffic happened? Because there was no communication, no clear plan, no communication. The minister is saying, the Ministry of Works is saying something else. The governor of Lagos City is saying something else. It's almost as if everybody's working their own lines of communications alone. But you cannot work that way. Now, so there's a possibility that the bridge can reopen even if it's temporarily. But you mean that is a possibility? That was a possibility? Okay, we are deferring this to probably later. So in the later, what parameters are you going to put in place for the later? Because whether we like it or not, we are prolonging the inevitable. This is going to happen. They need to work on the bridge. But for now, thankfully, gracias, the bridge will be open at least for this weekend and 2 weeks coming. What happens after?
Yeah. Do you know what problem I'm having with this whole picture? Is that it seems that we are still in the archaic century in Nigeria.
In what way?
At least I might not have been everywhere in the world, but I've been privileged to see online at least the kind of machinery and engineering geniuses that roads and constructions of it have been taking. There's so many new innovations that we're still having manual. All these things that men are shoveling sand and sharp sand. There are newer machines that can do this thing
and make it
faster. We cannot continue to give contracts to maybe companies that do not have the new capacity, the new technology to be able to work this road, because they will manual. How much can a manual shoving of sand make it good enough? There are so many newer innovations, newer machinery.
They should do before and after.
Yes, sure. We can do side by side. We have the excavator and then the road that is
as long as we're still doing
so
this
that people don't think that this is still going on.
Exactly.
As long as people are still doing this manual rendition of doing contracts, we're still going to keep having roads that are not completely, okay. Every 3 years, we still spend enormous money to be able to do something that we could have done better and faster.
There's a road, I think it's the one that if you're coming from this side and you're going to Bagada, the road is now concrete. It's like pure core concrete, and it took them a long time. I was stuck in that traffic too. It took them a while to do it. And I also think that it's even in the use of materials. So I always have a theory. People laugh. I say sometimes, if you do this work too well, where is the contract for the boys?
Yes, so
because you have to have some contracts for the. I think is my theory.
Truly.
You have to have some contracts with the boys every 2 years. Because sometimes, if you fix things too well, who is going to have to remediate
do you know that there are myriads of things to be done. If everybody does their job effectively, trust me, there are many areas that contracts can still be awarded.
We are not. That's not a Nigerian thing. Do things properly and perfectly. It's
allegedly, a story someone told me many months ago. I thought somebody allegedly, because I know the person will never own up like that. He was given a contract and he wanted to do some kind of good work, and they called him aside and said, "Oga, we will not send you. Chop your own. Go. Don't put unbreakable glass."
Oh la la, there are many stories like that.
So
many stories.
It was like, wow. So you actually want me to do a shoddy job? No. So that they can give this same contract to another?
Blessing, sorry. Don't forget your train of
thought. Don't enter, because we have to take a break. So that you two don't.
Anyway.
Let's take a quick time out. We have more to talk about, but we'll wrap up this conversation and also take reactions when we come back. And then move on, because recall is not, I won't tell you. Wait for it. Recall is...
Thank you for staying with us. Don't forget to join the conversation on all our social media platforms. We are at News Central TV across all platforms. We've given the following what is known as...
we want to wrap up the first conversation. Lola was ready to go. She wants to leave the traffic in the background.
But can we go? Sorry, can we go?
3, 2, 1. So what I was saying about this is the fact that this, like we said, is a temporary solution. But you would not hear them say, to avoid what happened today or this week, we're going to do this, do that. When they're ready, they will still break it. Maybe by then they would have given the people that matter the relevant information. Maybe you now see more Natashas in the sky. so that, you know, they don't have to go through the inconvenience of that. Unfortunately, I don't think that their approach to things will change.
Yeah.
And that's the definition of insanity, doing something the same way and expecting different results, because eventually they will still break it and say, oh, we apologize, but we have to fix the road without any other alternative.
No. So the minister is promising you by the time that, because he said that this is a temporary fix for 2 weeks, he's promising you that by the time the 2 weeks has elapsed, they would have sat down at the table and thought out the modalities to make this as less inconveniencing as possible. There will be inconveniences.
Yeah, but
there are only 2 bridges into VI.
Maybe they should work on this side.
Yes, he
while
mentioned
this
that.
side
He
can
mentioned the
continue.
possibility
When
of
this
them
one is dried
working
out, then they
side
can
by
just.
side.
Which of them mentioning now? Because Governor...
It was the Minister of Works. Don't be shady. The Minister of Works is the one that mentioned it. So let's see, because...
And it's so distasteful for me to see that we can blatantly see the disconnect between the governor and the minister. It makes me feel as if, okay, so where are we getting power from? It now feels as if, okay, this person didn't plan adequately. You didn't get the right, or are there things that we don't know?
And they're coming and throwing subtle shades at each other, because I remember the government said, with all due respect to my brother. With all due respect, instead of with all due respect.
And we know it's not respect. Catherine, you want to say something before you take reaction?
No, I was saying that, you know, in a hurry to refix the bridge for commuters and car owners and pedestrians and everybody else, that sometimes we rush the work. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know the terms. But, you know, some things that you do, especially when it has to be concrete and those bauxite and all those things, it takes time. So sometimes they probably need to set for a certain days or for a certain period. Now, it's as if we are rushing it.
But what do you want? The bridge is closed. You say it can't be closed. They're giving you temporary fix.
Sat here
You're
saying
asking
that
it
gives them 2 weeks to come up with a plan.
Yeah.
If you have not come up with a plan by now, Tolu, in 2 weeks, I can assure you, we will still be dancing around.
See, let me tell you this. I think that because they surprised us and actually they were able to give a temporary fix, I might want to give them a little bit of
It's a one-time thing.
It's a one-off. But do you know that the contractor is actually happy? Because I'm going to collect money for this temporary fix.
Exactly.
Then I'll come back for the money for the...
And you see, it's done in 3 days.
It's a possibility. He says, sir, I need to order things from China ASAP. Bring my
Natasha, please, can I follow you? I'm going to that.
One, you people are very disillusioned. I understand, because people will be like, okay, is this safe? But you have to trust them. The bridges that we've been doing, the roads they've been doing, we have been using them. You have to decide, do you want them to give you a temporary fix, or are we going to put up with this? They cannot give you a temporary fix, and now you're saying, but they're rushing to do it.
They're postponing the inevitable. They'll still come back anyway.
Let them plan.
For me, let them plan better.
And my last point on this is, from yesterday to today, we have seen wonders. We can work at this pace, even if it's not this kind of bridge that they had cut to the point where they're already seeing the water. They're telling, and we've seen it, a bridge. A lot of the work was done almost 24 hours. Some of it was done overnight. But to see that we can work at this pace, can we please implement this as it needs to be safely, to be a constant thing?
Yeah.
Please, if we can work at this pace on an emergency, we should be able to work at this pace. I don't like this.
Do you know that there are many things that the government... And there are many... When Ms. Adesia was talking about what they can do, do you know I've actually seen motorized boats that can take cars. They can just park, maybe ferries. You just take your car from that marina side. You drive onto the train, then it will drop you at the base of that Independence Bridge. Then you just continue from there. You know, there's so many. We have to think outside the box, because the amount of the population of Lagos is drowning itself.
Yes, it is.
If they do not think of alternative roads, bridges,
modes, whatever,
any mode, train.
But how can they not think of any other modes of transportation in Lagos? The roads are overwhelmed. In fact, we should have.
It should be priority.
It should be really seamless.
Look at
some
me,
days you might say, I don't want to drive to work. It should be something that it's like, oh my God, okay, so today I'm going to take the ferry.
Now that they've done the blue rail, it has ended in some place. This kind of project should be ongoing.
No, it's ongoing. Yeah. It's ongoing in different parts. It's ongoing in different parts.
Well, want to see
veto. We have to move on.
Okay. Anyway, now I can say what I wanted to say.
In peace.
Eventually. Anyway, we've been following what is becoming known as Natasha Gate. We have a one-woman volcanic eruption. Since the beginning, that Senator Natasha Akpoti-Dragon saga involving her allegations of sexual harassment and abuse of power against the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. Her suspension, her statement at the IPU event in New York, the court orders and suits recall process instituted against her, as well as a return to her hometown on Tuesday. Now, we have an update on one of those events. We've all keenly been following with our arms akimbo, watching as INEC cooks. Yes, akimbo is great because you're watching into the pot. As INEC cooks, waiting for them to serve us. Now, INEC has dropped something on the table.
Oh my God.
On Thursday, the Independent National Electoral Commission rejected the petition to recall Senator Akpoti Oduaga. Can I please finish?
Please, can you go back to rejecting?
INEC rejected the petition to recall Senator Akpoti Oduaga, representing Kogi's Central Senatorial District, citing the failure of the petition to meet constitutional requirements. According to INEC, the petition garnered 208,132 verified signatures, which is 43.86% of the 474,554 registered voters in the district. This falls short of the required 237,278 signatures, which is more than half of the registered voters, missing the mark by 29,146 signatures. Consequently, the recall process will not proceed. Now, if you recall, INEC first rejected the petition due to incomplete contact information from the petitioners. And just about a day later, INEC said that the missing information had been provided and the recall process would move forward. Now, let's take some reactions. We didn't take reactions on the bridge.
No.
We'll take reactions on this one. Let's take some reactions before the ladies dig
But I
in.
want to sing.
Wait now. While the victory is good for Senator Natasha, we may still ask some fundamental questions. How did INEC ascertain 208,132 signatures, thumbprints from the submission made by the petitioners across the 902 polling units in 57 registration areas and 5 local government areas that make up the senatorial district? How did the commission verify the valid 43.86% of the registered voters' signatures? What the FG has done is give a little demonstration and a much needed civic education on how to recall your senator/representative. And if we in fact are dissatisfied with what is being done in the NA, we should get on with doing our homeworks and show them what we've learned. Then the Supreme Court should declare the suspension of Natasha by Akpabio a fraud and nullity. Her sexual harassment case should also be investigated, and if Akpabio is found guilty, he should go to jail. INEC is claiming that they verified over 200,000 signatures. What was the turnout in the senatorial election that over 200,000 people will sign a recall petition? Those signatures were allegedly forged. There were videos to corroborate this claim. I thought I was also going to see a report that those signatures, in line with the videos in circulation, were not valid signatures. But then, since the 50% requirement was not met, the other clear evidence can be forgotten. Or should it be? For the first time, I've seen INEC make a fair and credible decision. This is how institutions should work, by upholding the law, not bending to pressure. Let's hope this is the beginning of true democratic process in Nigeria. This is the last one, please. Okay, agreed. Can you please further do a forensic audit analysis of the said signatures submitted and proper handing over of the fake people to the right authorities? Nigerians need to know them.
I'm genuinely proud of Nigerians, at least the Nigerians in this comment section, because normally we will just, rejoice over, oh, INEC has supposedly done the right thing. But at the end of the day, if they say there were 200 and something thousand signatures, but it didn't meet the cutoff mark, what they're saying indirectly is go back, regroup, sign more, possibly fake signatures, and bring them back. So if we do not do the investigation now, they will go back and sign more, and then we will not even look into the said signatures, and we'll now say, okay, now they have passed it. Right, so I think I like that people are calling INEC to check the signature. It's not just about saying it did not meet the mark, because they can come back tomorrow and say, okay, now they have over 400,000 signatures, and then you're not looking into the signatures. I'm proud of Nigerians.
Well, I'm just happy that something unusual is happening. At least we're seeing somebody challenge an institution, which is, a lot of our problems are institutionalized. That means it's a systemic problem. And to go through the system is a really hard call.
Yes.
Even INEC would have, if they had come up with a different verdict, it would have been as clear as day that something inconsistent has happened. And we cannot put our fingers upon it. And this one is like a bone in the throat situation.
Yeah.
This lady is doing everything she can, at least to the best of her knowledge by the book. And we're wondering that, okay, if the institution supports the patriarchy, where would anybody be? Because how do I then prove to us that these thumbprints now they have just given us an omnibus answer. How about those signatures that were unverified, that were probably faked or forged? Shouldn't the people that brought these petitions be called to book? That okay, how come all these signatures are inconsistent?
So it doesn't
Where
just
are
die
these
like
people?
this,
So that first, in other times you know that it can't be business as usual. But if we do not investigate this to the end, if we just allow this to go,
the tweet before the last
Madam
said
in front,
said,
in this very picturesque picture, should these ones not be called to question?
And they actually should, because at the end of the day, there is a process. I know we spoke about it from the very beginning. This is one of the videos in question in which it was reported that people's signatures were being forged for the recall. And we have the process for the recall, which also required that the senator or the representative being recalled be present or have agents present while INEC was verifying. And don't forget, all these things are just seeming to turn around in a very, I'm surprised at how quickly Nigeria seems to be moving these days, you know?
And
I'm interested in knowing if her representatives were present while the verification of these signatures was ongoing and what they said. We have Senator Akpoti Oduagan's reaction to the announcement by INEC, which was breaking news yesterday. So let's see what the senator had to say when this news broke. We'll get that in a moment. Yes, because I was told that we had it and I thought we were going to take it, because there is one more story I want us to get to. But I also think it's, as someone said, you know, when we talked about the fact that it appears that some people might be trying to recall Senator Ned Imasu. There we go.
Fine.
Victory for the people of Nigeria. One battle down, two more to go. Deep gratitude to my beloved husband, awesome support team, magnificent people of Kogi Central, and the great people of Nigeria at large. At INEC Nigeria, you did well. Senator Natasha Akpoti Oduagan, proudly Kogi Central.
I think it's how she signs
and she's
her
never
name.
dropped the senator, because remember, one of the parts of her suspension was that she should not parade herself as a senator, whether in Nigeria or outside of Nigeria. But the whole situation is quite interesting to watch. And it's Senator Ned Imasu, I was going to say, you're opening people's eyes to the fact that it is possible. And I think in the next year, 2 years or so, we will possibly see a recall, a successful recall.
And I like that comment. Somebody said what they're doing is teaching us how to do it better, and we're learning.
The reactions that we got were just like you said, like Nigerians are really,
Those
our
are
eyes are
intelligent
opening.
people.
Yeah, the
They know they
engineer
are following.
said,
They know what's up.
this is how institutions
But
are
you know,
supposed
Twitter
to be.
is not like other streets of social media. Twitter can be sanitary sometimes. It has sanity.
Stop it. Stop what you're saying. But there are some other comments I thought we'd take them. But people said it's okay now that INEC seems to have done something that's in your favor and you're happy about it. When INEC makes a ruling that you or a decision that you don't agree with, that's when you'll say that they compromised. It is a sort of, we have to take
as long as they are very transparent about the process.
Even when there's transparency in Nigeria, let me tell you, people do not agree or believe certain decisions.
But ultimately, that is the same thing as you can't please everybody. Some people like you for no reason. Some people don't like you for no reason.
But
if the facts speak for themselves, if INEC does,
turn around.
That's the thing. The facts have never spoken for themselves. So when they were,
but the turnaround
and results were coming from nowhere.
It's so commendable. So that means our institutions can work this fast. When we are in court for a matter, or we have not even heard the substantive matter. We're just on interim matters that we are in court for 7 years. So these things can be done in a space of weeks.
Break. On that note, we break.
I wanted to sing that song so desperate.
I know, you said you wanted to sing.
Okay, very quickly. It's been a while we took on a relationship conversation on the show. So they dug deep, let me know that it's not me, and found the right one that has even gone viral beyond Nigeria. Now, this one is a very long read. Showing on the screen soon will be already. So just permit me to summarize because of time. Now, basically, a man told his wife that he wanted a divorce. He told her that he would move out while financially supporting her and their five children. She said, okay, only for him to wake up the next morning and she had left for Nigeria and taking the kids' passports with her. Taking the passports while leaving the kids with him. Now, she sent him a text saying she was going to Nigeria and leaving the 5 kids with him. He mentioned that he sponsored her for her master's degree and brought her to the UK. Since then, he's been alone with their children, struggling to balance everything.
All right, so he said the first 3 days were overwhelming without her. He started running temperature like he was falling sick. It was like he didn't exist outside of being a father. The kids are throwing tantrums, they leave messes, and he has to do late-night feedings. His sister had to step in and help him. She stayed with the kids, cleaned the house, and gave him time to catch up on some sleep. So he's been asking himself some questions. Is she not the woman in the marriage to cater to the children? How do you leave 5 children with just him? Which woman does this? What mother would do this? He has been praying to God since to restore his marriage. Ladies, let's chew on this.
You don't have time to chew.
There's nothing to chew except to spit out.
Oh my God, no.
But this is what women cope with day in,
He
day
was going
out.
to leave her
With
in
the
house
5 children.
With 5 children,
To
saying we're going
cater
to
for.
financially support. Okay.
Are you kidding me? Now, Adesina, the care gap. Blessing Adesina.
How did blessing
The
get
care
in
gap.
here?
Now, a lot of men do not even understand the enormous weight
Yeah.
on the shoulder of women when they carry the
They are
children that both
juggling.
of you had
This woman
together
is working.
is on your
She's
shoulder. They
juggling.
expect a woman.
And she
cleans
still
the
lie.
house, oh.
Wait now. And in the night, she will still lie down and say, let us pray, brother. And she's still there, catering to all of that and losing herself in the process. And
You're
you
not
get a
serious.
fine man because your body doesn't sweet you now. You say, I must take a stroll, but don't worry. With you and the kids, I got you.
This is my
well,
kind of, this is my
I think
kind
he
of
beats
woman.
him to the punch.
I'm sure when he was saying it, she'd be like, okay.
Did you hear the questions he was asking? What kind
I'll
of woman
just call
does
my
this?
children
What
that
kind? Is
this
this
is
not
what
the
I'm
woman
going
I
to do.
This is not the woman I
Don't
married.
worry, I
I'll
got
come
you.
back, exactly.
But just give your dad some months to take care of you guys.
So you guys are saying what she did was okay.
I don't understand.
No, it wasn't okay.
I'm not the one before
How
he slapped me.
long
It
off.
can
wasn't
it
okay.
be?
It was perfect.
It was
Sister,
perfect.
Sometimes you need to give the
but-
other
but-
person a dose
taste
of the
of the medicine.
Listen,
So
I'm all for
Because
it.
of the way he wrote this, I suspect that this is a person who's never been fully
Involved.
He comes home and he's the father, he's the
Yeah.
daddy. There's a respect, there's a certain thing.
Now you're suddenly saying that they're
tries to
throwing
keep
up
the
these
children from
messes.
from disturbing him. He's come home after a long day of work. I don't know if she works. He didn't say, but he comes home after a long day of work.
He
She's
had
had
to call his
5
sister
kids.
to
She's
set-
had 5 kids
Oh, no, come on,
and
guys.
left them.
It's
And
all
so,
right.
and I think the kids are all under like 12. 5 kids under 12.
Ah.
And they have twins.
I said,
They have twins. Let's take reactions very quickly because
Oh, yeah.
this story.
Oh, there are
I said
reactions.
this story made it outside. I'd seen it on Nigerian social media, and then I saw it on a page I followed outside Nigeria. You wanted to leave her with 5 kids and move on with your life.
Yes.
You know the sacrifices she has made, the things she has lost, her sanity, her time, just to make sure the family is intact. Since you don't need her, then raise your kids and see if it was an easy job for her. All you're thinking of is yourself and not her or the kids. You miss the
Listen.
babysitter and nanny work she was doing. You don't even love her.
Do you know?
Totally.
Who suffers here, man, woman, or the kids? Kids, the most important woman, people, not the man, not the woman, nothing to celebrate.
My brother.
A good woman with a good heart will never leave her children. Let's not support this. Our mothers wouldn't have done this.
It's
This
good you
social
said our
media will
mothers.
lead a lot of women into
Buckets.
buckets or trash. That enough said. Poster, file for sole custody and get help to support your sister. She's now coloring hair gold. Home training is key. Happy Sunday. So she apparently did not block him. She cut her hair and colored her hair gold. You can
Yes.
see it. The fact that people are happy that a woman left her 5 kids as payback is really mind-boggling. Pray for our generation. And I also want to make a point. He said that he was with them for a while and he started running temperature. He started running temperature like he was falling sick and he had to call his sister in. Let me tell you, if he had left her with those kids and she was the one catering for them, and for some reason she told him, I need to get a nanny, or I want to bring my sister to come and help.
yeah.
How can you not take care of your own
Yeah.
children?
And why in the comments am I saying a woman left her children? Left her. It's their kids.
It's
It's
their
their
kids.
kids
It's not just her.
together.
And I'm sure it's the guy that kept saying, let's have one more. Let's try one more. Let's
5
get one
kids.
more. It's their kids.
Listen,
not
and
hers
then the
alone.
poster that said, our mothers would never do this. That was then, lady.
That was
Times
when
have
they didn't
evolved.
have anything
Times
to
have
their
changed.
life.
That was when they didn't have anything. Do you know what our mothers had to
Our mothers
put up
had
with?
no
Do you know what
choice.
it even means for we
Many
are
of our
post-
mothers
I'm a
disappeared in
foster child
marriages.
for sole custody mother. I have no breaks, no holidays,
Hey.
no time off, no go and stay with. I have to be the mother to my children 24 hours. So you cannot tell me, and I know that their dad lives by himself. He only thinks of himself on a daily basis. There is nothing I can do on a daily basis without factoring my children.
It's naturally selfish leaning for men, because truly we are not wired the same. A man would first of all think of himself, because women, you just embody women like these super women, powers. But the truth is that times are changing. We are in a dynamic society. The same way the social media is exploding and expanding is the same way that marriages are changing. And honestly,
bye. They're not stopping. Just go.